Hey everybody, welcome to Play, Ranked, Share, the show where I cover the marquee PlayStation 5 titles, create an ever-evolving ranking of the best PS5 games, and share my opinions with you. My name is Tyrus, and this episode is focused on PS5 predictions for 2022. January always feels like the calm before the storm in the gaming industry. It's a quiet month in terms of both release dates and news from industry heavyweights. So, during this quieter time, I thought it would be a great time to make some predictions on things I think could happen in 2022. I'm going to divide this video into three sections: PlayStation Studio games, PSVR 2, and studio acquisitions. Make sure to leave a comment below about what your predictions are for this upcoming year, and with that out of the way, let's jump in. We already know about 3 PlayStation Studio games that are coming in 2022. First up is my most anticipated release, Horizon Forbidden West, coming out on February 18th. This will quickly be followed by Gran Turismo 7, the newest entry in the best-selling PlayStation franchise, on March 7th. However, my first prediction comes with God of War Ragnarok. This highly anticipated game has yet to receive a release date. I predict that this game will come out in early September. That way, it can release away from larger franchises like Call of Duty, but still be a topic of conversation going into the Black Friday shopping season. Sony Santa Monica initially dated this game for 2021, and while no one was surprised it got delayed to this year, I think it means Ragnarok is completely safe from being delayed into 2023. Additionally, both The Last of Us Remake and The Last of Us Factions have all been but officially confirmed, and I think they will both come out this year. I predict that The Last of Us Factions will be a standalone game costing $50 like Spider-Man Miles Morales, and it will come out in the summertime. I think this multiplayer game will have a significant story component to it on a much larger scale than the original Factions game did. The Last of Us Remake, meanwhile, will likely launch alongside the TV show based on the game, but there's no date for the show yet, but whenever it comes out, the game should follow. Head of PlayStation Studios Herman Hulse has previously stated that PlayStation Studios has over 25 games in development, yet at the time of writing we officially only know 5 of them. PlayStation traditionally gives a yearly blowout showcase on their future games in the ecosystem, and I expect we'll get another one this summer, and it's going to be a big meaty one that shows off many different PlayStation Studio games. My first prediction is it will be headlined with gameplay of Spider-Man 2. I'm excited to see how Peter and Miles interact with each other, and it wouldn't surprise me if we finally see footage of Venom in this game as well. I think we're going to see Bluepoint's next project this year too, especially if it's the rumored Bloodborne remake. Bluepoint traditionally releases a game every 2.5 years, so I expect we'll see their next game revealed this year and given an early 2023 release date. It's been an open secret that Guerrilla Games has expanded to a multiple-team studio, and they hired the director of Rainbow Six Siege over 3 years ago now. It's obvious that a multiplayer shooter is in the works at the studio, and I think they're using this team to revive the SOCOM franchise. PlayStation does not have an exclusive shooter with esports appeal, and since SOCOM was one of the original esport games, I think it is the perfect time to bring this franchise back into the spotlight. I expect this revival to be part of the yearly summer showcase and for it to be given a 2023 release date. While not the flashiest PlayStation studio, Pixel Opus creates smaller games that can have the freedom to be creative, like with Concrete Genie and its paintbrush mechanics. 2022 marks 3 years since Concrete Genie was released, and I think it's time to see what the studio has been working on. We know they are collaborating with Sony's animated movie team, but I think this is just for cutscene support, and that Pixel Opus is making a new, family-friendly IP for PlayStation, and this game will be shown this year and given a 2023 release date. One final, more abstract prediction about the first-party studios is I think we'll hear rumors about Sucker Punch expanding into a multiple-game studio. If this happens, I think it'll be in a similar fashion to how we realized Santa Monica Studio is making multiple games, where hiring pages revealed that there's a secret project in the works. PlayStation is investing a lot of money into their studios to increase production output, and I think Sucker Punch will be the latest developer to grow into multiple teams. I think it is likely we'll see PlayStation reveal more second-party games this year as well, as currently there are none announced. Arrowhead Games last released Helldivers in 2015, and it's about time we see what they're working on next. The NVIDIA GeForce Now leak that happened last year had Helldivers 2 listed, so I expect we'll see this sequel revealed and released later this year. Other Ocean Entertainment developed the Medieval remake for Sony and released it in 2019, and if they're developing another smaller remake, I think we'll hear about it this year. These second-party games are always hard to predict. I think PlayStation can make an out-of-left-field partnership for these types of games, and I wouldn't be surprised if we hear about one or two this year as well. One of the biggest topics of conversation this year will be PSVR 2, which recently had new features highlighted at the Consumer Electronics Show. With that reveal came official confirmation of the first PSVR 2 game, Horizon Call of the Mountain, which promises to bring a robust Horizon experience to the VR landscape. The most important thing that PlayStation needs to do to take the next step forward with VR is to show gamers they are committed to bringing high-quality PlayStation Studio games to the system. To showcase the potential of VR, I expect PlayStation to leverage both the PlayStation Studios and second-party partnerships to ensure us that there is a strong core library of games being developed for the system. For the PlayStation Studios, we already know Firesprite is working on a project with Call of the Mountain, but there is significant VR talent elsewhere in the first party. Insomniac made several VR games before being acquired in 2019, and I predict they're making a Spider-Man game exclusively for VR. I think, just like Call of the Mountain, this game won't be ready for the launch of PSVR 2, but will showcase to the audience that PlayStation is investing heavily in the VR landscape. Additionally, I think Team Asobi will unveil a new Astrobot game for VR, and London Studio will show that they have been working on a game as well, likely an online-focused VR game. In order to ensure that PSVR 2 is properly supported, PlayStation will also need to rely on studios with VR expertise. I think PlayStation will once again partner with Camouflage Studio, and their next game might be ready to show off this year. PlayStation could also think outside the box and partner with studios who have already made popular VR games, such as Sin Studio, who made Swordsman VR. I also predict the PSVR 2 will have backwards compatibility with the old VR games. We now operate in an era where backwards compatibility is expected, and it won't be good for the longevity of PSVR 2 if its library starts from scratch. Ensuring players they can play popular VR games like Moss and Astrobot Rescue Mission on the launch day of PSVR 2 can help entice gamers to get the console. Since the PSVR 2 needs to be connected to the PS5 to play, I think Sony can be aggressive with the pricing structure of the machine. Additionally, since they are starting to properly release information about the system, it should be coming later this year, and I personally predict it'll release in October in the lead up to Black Friday. I additionally think the system will launch at a price point of $400, a steep price but cheaper than similar machines that have the components of the PSVR 2. PlayStation has traditionally been conservative with studio acquisitions, last buying Insomniac Games in 2019, and before that, Sucker Punch Productions way back in 2011. However, this all changed in 2021, as PlayStation bought a total of 6 studios, most notably including Bluepoint Games, Housemarque, and Firesprite. Every time PlayStation makes an acquisition, it makes sense. It is mostly studios they have worked with on multiple occasions before hiring. But with other companies like Microsoft, Tencent, and Embracer Group rapidly acquiring new teams, I predict PlayStation will still make studio acquisitions in 2022, just not as many as last year. I think the most glaring hole currently in PlayStation Studios is the lack of a VR-focused studio. 2 teams I can see Sony buying this year are Camouflage and Impulse Gear. Camouflage made the well-received Iron Man VR game, and I think PlayStation will want to lock up this strong VR team if progress on their next game is going well. Impulse Gear made the shooter Farpoint for PlayStation back in 2017. I think Sony is collaborating with this talented team again, and acquiring Impulse Gear would give the brand a studio that is making some of the best VR shooters on the market. Outside of these 2 studios, I can't see PlayStation buying many other teams right now. After rapidly expanding in 2021, current management needs to focus on making sure all new teams are properly integrated into PlayStation. Additionally, 2022 could be a year spent on building new, meaningful second-party relationships that could turn into studio acquisitions down the line. Testing these second-party relationships are important to do before acquiring a studio, as it ensures that the company culture is a proper fit for PlayStation. I could see them announcing some new second-party partnerships this year. Most notably, it wouldn't surprise me to see partnerships with Ember Lab or Giant Squid. The previous games from these two studios did receive some funding for PlayStation for marketing rights and exclusivity, so maybe PlayStation will want to further develop these relationships. Thank you for watching this episode of Play, Rank, Share. Make sure to ring the bell to be notified when future episodes are released. Future PRS episodes include the top indie PS5 games and reviews for Tales of Arise and Far Cry 6. What are your PS5 predictions for 2022? Make sure to comment below, and until next time, don't stop sharing.